Back to news first. While Guam is at a critical stage in its development, and with the military buildup coming, available land for development is expected to shrink. This, along with other critical issues facing the island's infrastructure, was discussed at the second annual Planners Symposium. Here's more. How will recent land development legislation affect future development on Guam? A host of bills that could change the makeup of how land development is approved have been discussed in recent legislative sessions. Senator Frank Huggins' Bill 318, which would require the affected village's municipal planning council's support for any variance and zoning applications, was among the bills discussed. And Territorial Chief Planner for the Department of Land Management, Marvin Aguilar, explains that planners on Guam are open to any kind of change.
If there is a need to try to embody or embrace this opportunities to have all stakeholders involved, then we're really open to it. But it has to be be consistent. It has to be substantiated with reason.
Aguilar was among the speakers at the second annual Assembly of Planners Symposium. He says the whole purpose of the symposium is to prepare planners for external factors that will inevitably affect and change the way land is developed on Guam. These external factors range from climate change to the shrinking availability of land to develop.
Guam is dependent on everything off island, basically. So while we're saying, well, other than quarrying for limestone, a lot of the stuff that's used for development here comes off ships, and that's the big challenge. That's one of the big challenges, is that now the cost of bringing it in is more expensive. The cost of land is going to go up because land is going to dwindle. The availability of land to develop is going to dwindle.
Change may be one of the biggest enemies facing a comprehensive master plan in Guam. Aguilar adds that Guam's external makeup will be very different as time goes on. This, he says, makes it important to document the issues and challenges discussed at the conference and into a unified plan.
There are pressures out there. You have military buildups. You have some environmental issues that are occurring globally. You do have sprawls that are occurring. You do have anticipated loss of land mass for various reasons, and we have to bring all that information together in one unified system.
Meanwhile, Ordot Chalampago Mayor Jesse Gogui, who was trained as an engineer, says he hopes that the information gathered at the symposium gets put to use in future land development decisions and doesn't just become words.
And I hope people, it's just not words that are put out there, for people to hear, because the real action is putting it to paper, putting it into law, putting it into something that the people of this island can truly hold their elected officials accountable for.
Gogui says a constant theme that a lot of planners spoke about was protecting Guam's environment and culture when developing land. He says Guam needs to first invest in our infrastructure before anything else.
I've heard it said multiple times, we're talking about infrastructure, so that in the future we can actually see infrastructure ready to take on these big projects, as opposed to we put in these big projects and then we figure out what the impact is, and then we say, oh, we need to find monies.
The symposium was held at the Pacific Star Resort. For more information, you can log on to our website at pacificnewscenter.com.